I think everybody wants Devon to be in for the major part of it, but mine is going to be on Michael. But however, my opinion is changing.
What about the platforms? Because RVJ made this interesting video I saw recently. He's very funny, by the way. I love watching RVJ's channel. He's a very funny guy. But he made this video about the platforms. He said there's no sport in which, being short, you can just wear like something so you can get taller. It's interesting. I've never used a platform myself, even though I'm 5'10". I always felt weird using it because I didn't realize how advantageous it is. And now you get that height position that you can go down on. It's really advantageous. Do you think that should be banned? It's not really fair if you think. I mean, I guess it is fair if both of the people wear it. Both of the people have it.
Yeah, but it's not really about it's about your waistline being around the table. You know what I mean? Because I think I don't know. You'll have to look at the sports that also use an equipment, right? We cannot look at the sports that don't use an equipment. We use a table that was built for a person that's about 6 foot tall, right? And I don't really, honestly, it's not really about either. I don't think the riser is really that much of a difference, but having a bigger elbow pad. You and I both pulled the same person, Derek Smith.
Yeah.
But the riser doesn't really help me to pull Derek, but when I pull Derek and I stacked 2 pads on me, so I have 2 elbow pads and he has 1. We were equal now because Derek's arm is so long.
Yeah, he's a giant.
You know what I mean? By the time you grip up with him, my elbow will be so much far, so we can feel even, right?
It's like a baby's hand.
Yeah, you have to go for him. Like he's so much taller and longer than you. So those double pads now made our grip comfortable, right? I'm not winning now, but I'm in the same league. So it is. I never really thought of that, and I could probably agree with Rob. And I think if you're too short, you can have a good word of like, hey, if you're too short, you go look somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like short people in basketball, right? You might want to play basketball, but if you're too short, you probably can make it to the bigger leagues. I mean, you can try. I don't really know what's the average of short people trying to make it to the leagues and they do that. Probably the same thing with arm wrestling. If you're too short, you might just want to look for another sport if you cannot, if the risers were to be banned. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, arm wrestling can get a lot of changes, right? Super light people want to be in arm wrestling and they always complain there's, how come there's not 123 class? Because your average American don't weigh 123. So it's wasteless to have the class. So probably almost the same could be said about shorter people that could be, but I don't know. I would like to see first sports that use equipment to see if their equipment is kind of goes for the height. I mean, I don't know, snowboarding.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I can't even think of one sport that has an equipment that's optional. Like you either wear gloves or you don't. Usually there's equipment, you got to wear it. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I know it's just snowboarding. Your snowboards are you can't be on any snowboard. It have to be your height. You have to be a proper size snowboard, right? You cannot use, if you're 5'2", you're gonna use 6 point, whatever, because the snowboard's length. I mean, I don't know what's a legit thing. When I was taught snowboarding, I think your height have to equal your snowboard, right? If you're like 6 foot tall, it's a 6 foot snowboard, or whatever, somewhere in that thing. If it's too short, I don't know how bad it is, but they go there. But that's just you. You're not competing. You're not holding on to another person. You different people use different snowboards. Me and you use the same arm wrestling table. I will probably have to look into it. I'll ask my coach Ivan that, because Ivan has me and Ivan been talking for like years now, and we always have theories about training, tournaments, entry fees, equipment. Because another thing that kind of part of that is, how you always see, like, if you pay for like to watch some PAL match or whatever, and you watch people get into a war, and the referee calls a little foul, you immediately think, well, like, I'm watching it. Like, why couldn't they just, for this particular match, have loose rules? Like, don't call it. you're not running foul. I mean, like, just don't notice like a little foul. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Arm wrestlers think like let's not the rules be that strict. That's arm wrestling thing. And if you think about it, it's only an arm wrestling thing. Because arm wrestling thing, like, well, we cannot show this match to an outside guy because the match never happens. It's always fall after fall. They didn't know what to keep up. But it's a big logic. It's still very active, and people believe in it. But I'm like, hey, we are the only sport that wants to dumb down our rules because somebody else don't understand that.
Yeah.
When you play soccer, when you play football, they don't dumb down the rules of fouls because they want it to be more enjoyable. The rules remain the same. It's like, no, like we cannot have loose rules because the outsider can't understand it. Like, I try to watch football. I think football is just as horrible as arm wrestling, right? Because I think if I don't know the rules, like if the ball touches the ground, they have to stop and redo the whole shit.
Yeah,
like
just keep stopping. It's
just like arm wrestling, but because you can have a good game because I think where you just run back and forth, there's no stops. I guess that's a good game. It's good to watch. Kind of same thing with arm wrestling. Like if you have a bunch of fouls, yeah, the match now is bad, but there's the rules. Same as football. I think the good game is where the ball just goes, right? Same thing with arm wrestling, where no falls, it's a good match. But football doesn't change the rules. I don't think so. Like soccer doesn't do that. So that's another funny arm wrestling subject. We're like, should we change some shit?
Now, who do you have? Is it Fat Devon or Muscular Mike? Who is winning? Who's winning the match? I mean, obviously, I have no idea, by the way, what to think because this is.
It's good that you have no idea because nobody really has a great idea because I interviewed a couple of people and people that just want to give an opinion, which I like. People that want to ask questions, now their opinion is changing because there's not enough answers from me. Because apparently, so I was talking to Paul Talbot. I still have his interview. He asked really great questions because I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know. And if I knew, I know that my answers could be different because here's the thing. It really depends on the rules. I think on the paperwork, that's how I go with it. If I were to bet my money, if I were to donate all my Dodge coins and whatever, I will probably have to go with Michael.
Me too.
Michael is a safer bet, right? Michael been winning. Michael been stronger. Whatever, right? I think it's a safe bet because he has been winning. But I think everybody wants for Devon to win. They just want to really bet money on it because historically Michael got the wins. I get it, but I think Devon is much more likable person, and people kind of gonna go for Devon anyway. I didn't know. So Michael, I meant so Devon is more likable person. I think I said Michael, but so Devon is the guy. I think everybody wants Devon to win for the major part of it, but money is going to be on Michael. But however, my opinion is changing. I have not voiced my opinion as a video what I'm thinking because the rules that they agreed to, right? I think best of 5 and 6 rounds makes a difference in my opinion. If best of 5, I'm going for Michael. 6 rounds, I'm agreeing with Paul Talbot. I am going Devon Larrat if it's 6 rounds. I will bet my money if it's 6 rounds. I'll bet my money on Devon if it goes 6 rounds. Now, if it talking about, I because that's not clear. Are they arm wrestling on the same pads, or are we talking about WL long pads? The real pad, I'm also going for Devon. I think those extra travel distance helps Michael a lot, but also in the same time, I was thinking about it the other day. Michael have not won a 6 rounder really in his recent years. Like every arm fight he had, he lost it, right? He lost it against Dennis. He lost it against Pushkar. He lost it Andrei Trubin.
Yeah.
Every 6 rounder, like people get more sneaky wins on Michael. Michael has endurance for days, but I think 6 opportunity for people to hit Michael 6 times in a row, I think that kind of gives him an advantage. So if they're pulling a legit 6 rounds, I don't think I can bet my money on Michael anymore. I would like to. I would like to be like have a strong opinion, but I think 6 rounds I can bet my money on Devon. And if it's a square 7x7 pad, not a long pad, I'm also probably going to go for Devon because I think Michael needs the extra room and the elbows because he falls. Like I guess we watched their matches at WL. Michael's elbow is a lot of the pad, and WL kind of allows it. I think there's strict rules, 6 rounds, square pad. Don't tell me wrong. I mean, I know Michael will adapt. I'm not saying that he can't. He will adapt the best he can, but I think that's still going to be in his disadvantage a little bit.
Have you been following Larry Wheels' progress? Do you watch the videos with Ray and these guys? Have you ever seen him arm wrestle? I was just curious what you would think about him and Schoolboy. I know you've seen Schoolboy arm wrestle a lot. I look at Larry's arm wrestling, and I'm not sure where he's weak and strong in. Do you have any ideas?
Well, I see from Coach Ray's videos that Larry still doesn't have a strong. I would say it's bicep, but his pronation and his ability to keep his arm straight is funky, right? Because Coach Ray could steep kill and just cup him, right?
Yeah.
And now he's in disadvantage. It's not really his biceps, but it almost kind of is like his hammer and his pronation. But I don't think it's really a problem. I think here's what my opinion of people like Larry, not specifically about Larry. I think they could never become a good arm wrestler. I don't think they have an ability. I think their brain is wired too much into doing other stuff.
Other sports, yeah.
But they always look a little bit awkward. They can hear and repeat all this stuff, but they always look a little awkward on the table. They never realize they can never be too fluent. I just never seen it like that. People say Denis Tsiplinkov, and I'm like, Denis Tsiplinkov is a good example. Denis Tsiplinkov is a good example against my theory because Denis came from hardcore strongman, but maybe that's why Denis is so talented.